Good morning YouTube, it's Corey, and today I'm doing my movie review on Captain America Civil War. Or otherwise, what I would call it, Iron Man's Vengeance. To start, if you have not seen this movie, I highly recommend you should see it. You should also watch the first Captain America movie, and then Winter Soldier, and then Civil War. So you're familiarized with the timeline. Also, make sure you've seen the very first Avengers movie. As this is a Marvel movie, some things I might not go into detail, and that is why I rely on my very best friend Alex from voltscomics and more to relay a little bit more information on comic superheroes as such. So, as that's stated, while I was taking notes and watching this for the first time, actually, I was kind of a little nervous. The reason why is because watching a Marvel movie, you gotta really pay attention. There's so much going on. There's so much details that are in comics and not in the comics. Unfortunately, I don't read a lot of comics. But I asked my friend Alex as references. Is this right? Was this in here? Was it not? He helped me out. Helped me write the notes. So, excuse me. In this movie, basically, the Avengers are still together, and they've been fighting crimes and preventing crimes from happening. During a battle that took place in South Africa. I want to say Morocco. One of those countries. Sorry, somewhere over there. Basically, they were involved with damaging property and cause of civilian life injury, which if you looked at any other ones, buildings blow up, a lot of money. Government's like, we don't want to keep paying to rebuild. Maybe you should help rebuild places that you destroyed, when you're fighting these bad guys and trying to save the world. So basically, it turned into a political involvement that caused a rift between the Avengers' activities. After their first fight that took place in North Africa, they were introduced with They were introduced by the government to sign accords. Basically, a paper that 117 countries came up with. Basically, the UN came up with this document stating that if the Avengers want to stay the Avengers, they must do what the government tells them to do. They can't go out and fight unless it's voted upon the panel supervision to say, hey, okay, we'll allow you to do it. So basically, what this accord was basically, it was saying, you want to be a superhero? That's great, but you're going to listen to us. You're not going to go off and save the world until we think it's necessary. So basically, if you give up being a superhero, we're not going to bother you. But if you're going to keep doing this superhero thing, you're gonna listen by our rules. So basically, it was like, I hate to say this, but it was like the scene from Incredibles, where basically the government was sick and tired of, lawsuits and injuries, and they told Incredibles, we don't want any more superheroes. So that's another movie I would like to do on, because the new sequel is coming out soon. But that's beside the point. I'm getting kind of sidetracked. Sorry about that. So everyone that was listening to this was kind of upset, but they wanted to still be a superhero. So there was a panel, there was a signing of this document in Vienna, and so Captain didn't go and sign it. He was after, yeah. Captain didn't sign it, and a few others didn't sign it. Because when they were about to bring it out, there was an explosion, and that blew up the building of the signature. And basically, it's all downhill from there. So, I don't want to give out spoilers too much. So I hate to do that. If you haven't seen it. But I want to go into the list of characters that are in this movie. And, not good. So, in this list of characters in this epic battle between good and evil, and good and versus good, we were introduced with Bucky, the Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Crossbones, Falco, Black Widow, Captain America himself, Hawkeye, I want to say Vision or Vision. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Down in the comments if you know, or if I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Black Panther, War Machine, and Spider-Man. And also Ant-Man. Yeah. So, that's a big list of superheroes all coming together for one epic battle. During this time where they were told not to do superpower and not to save the world as superheroes, Captain America still won justice for personal anguish and issues. So he built up a team to basically become vigilantes and do superhero work behind the government's back. And so basically Captain America builds a team to overcome his personal anguish and issues and still fight crime, even though the government has now forbidden them to fight crime unless they abide by their rules. So Captain America's team consisted of Hawkeye, Ant-Man, Bucky, his best friend, Falcon, and Scarlet Witch. As for the other Avengers who did sign the paperwork saying, alright, fine, we'll do this, we'll play by your rules, Iron Man, he decided to form his own team and do what the government wanted them to do. His team consisted of War Machine, his best friend, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Black Widow, and Vision. So there's two sides to the Avengers now. When you think the Avengers are supposed to be together, but because of this Accord, it ripped the Avengers apart. So what you think was what you're doing for good, you're actually breaking the law. And some are doing it because of personal vendettas. Some are doing it for blackmail, lies, deception, revenge, and morals. It leads up to an astonishing shock towards the end, and I really don't want to spoil it because I felt that if I do spoil it, people who haven't seen this movie might feel kind of let down. So overall, I would give this an 8 out of 10. My personal review. When it comes to the superhero timeline review rating, it would be a 7.5. Kind of low, but it is still part 3 of the timeline leading up to the new Avengers movie coming out this 27th, I believe. Don't quote me on that. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but it's leading up to the new Avengers movie coming out. Alright, fun fact that was put in the movie but was actually not in the original comics itself. In the original comic, I don't know what issue it was. That you would have to ask Alex from voltscomics and more. He'll know more about that. But Vision, Hawkeye, and Ant-Man, and Scarlet Witch were not part of the original comic book storyline, as they were in the movie adaptation. In the original storyline, the first 3 were dead, and Scarlet Witch was a little crazy in the mind. And she was missing. So I don't know why they changed that up, because in the original comic book, I mean, if you're reading it, you're like, well, it doesn't make sense, but I guess they wanted to have a little bit more characters. So overall, this has been a wonderful movie review. Enjoyable movie, watching it. Then again, you're writing notes, and you're looking at the screen, pausing the screen, writing notes, playing it. It's tedious, but I enjoy doing that. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review of mine. Again, this was the movie review of Captain America Civil War. It's out on DVD, Blu-ray, and currently still on Netflix if you want to watch it. And as like always, this has been Corey, signing out.